Well, hey everybody, welcome back to HawksDIY. Well, I got a good video for you guys today. We're going to be working on the big motor again, and it's 2007 Mercury 225 Optimax, and we're going to inspect and do any needed maintenance on the ignition system. So come along, it's going to be a good one. Alright guys, so if you watched my last video on the fuel system, we went through the entire fuel system and upgraded all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out. But now it's time to look at the ignition system and to make sure that all the spark plugs are getting fire. So to get started, to kind of give you an understanding, this is the coils here, and this is the coil bracket, and then here's the ground wires. So you'll have 6 coils. You'll only see 4 right now because I already have 2 of them pulled off. But anyway, the coils have 2 circuits. You can have a primary and a secondary circuit. So the primary circuit is this pin right here, pin connector, and I'll pull it off real quick here to show you. But you'll have 5 pins, okay? And then the secondary circuit is going to be the plug wire going to the spark plug. So let me put this back in real quick. So the coil provides the spark to the spark plug. So that's how all that works. That's a basic understanding anyway. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to change all these spark plugs. But I'll get to, later in the video, I'll get to how to test these coils. But for right now, let's get all these plugs changed. Also guys, I just wanted to share with you that if you need to know what spark plug for your motor, here's the tag on the front, and it gives you the spark plug right here, and then it gives you the gap right there. So just a quick tip there guys, if you need to figure out what's going on. Alright guys, as I stated earlier, I had already taken 2 of the coils off, and that's because I tested them and they were bad. So I tested all 6. The ones that are good, I went ahead and reinstalled, and I'll get to that later in the video on how to test those. But I have determined that the 2 that are bad was on cylinder 1 and cylinder 6. So I'm going to take those plugs out first. So those 2, cylinder 1 and cylinder 6, was not firing because of the coils were bad. So we was actually running on 4 cylinders, and I actually did 56 miles an hour on 4 cylinders. Well, I could, you know, it's possible that cylinder, what is this, cylinder, I believe cylinder 1 may have just went out recently. I suspect that. But, and I'll get to why later on in the video, but let's get these plugs in or out and see. Now I've already looked at the plugs too, and I had kind of cleaned them up, but I decided to go ahead and replace all of them. So, and this is an NGK, like I showed you earlier. IZFR5G plug. So let's get a new one in there. Yeah, man, got to keep them sparkulated. You know, that's pretty bad. You know, I could have possibly damaged this engine running it on 4 cylinders. So I'm glad to be getting this done. All right, I got that one in the top, and get this one at the bottom here. I've already got it in. I just got to tighten it down. Hopefully get all these changed today. That way we get this fired on all cylinders. I can't believe that, 4 cylinders. Torculated. Okay, so I got new plugs in cylinder 6 and cylinder 1 now. Both cylinders that was misfired. Plugs are gapped. And I'll come back at you whenever I get the rest of them in. Alright guys, well, I got all the plugs in, got them gapped. I have decided though, I think I'm going to replace all the spark plug wires eventually. There's a couple of them I noticed that had some bad spots, but I tested them and they tested fine. I tested them on the multimeter, they tested fine, but I may go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to make sure all these grounds are tightened down. That's important. Make sure the coil brackets tighten down real good. And then when the new coils come in, I'm going to put them in, and then we're going to do a test on the earmuffs and see how she runs. So until I get the coils in, I don't really want to show you the testing on how to test these coils, because I want to show you what a brand new one will test versus one that's used versus one that's not good. So when the new coils come in, we'll get to doing that. So I guess until then, go do something. Now guys, all kidding aside, I just thought I'd show you the ignition coil that I ordered, and since we're waiting, as you can see, it's pretty pricey, 150 bucks for one of these, so it's going to be a cost. But anyway, that's the coil there, that's the part number, it's Mercury ignition coil. And I also wanted to show you some of the spark plugs. So to start off, let's start with, I believe it's this plug here. Yeah, it's this one. So it's got a heavy black soot to it, and it's looks to me like a heavy oil fuel mixture. So the oil was a little heavy on the fuel mixture, and I don't know, it could be caused by a lot of different issues, but he was, they were using ethanol fuel, and plus, doing a lot of idling around, so that's probably why they looked that way. And then that was on cylinder number 4. So then we look at cylinder number 6, look how clean it was. Well, it was clean, I think, because they put a new one in it, not realizing the coil was bad. So apparently they've had issues with this before. So then the next plug was this one, I think. No, that's not the one. It's this one. Hang tight with me. Here it is, right here. This was on cylinder 1, and it still had a soot residue to it. So that's what the plugs look like. I believe this, or I suspect that this one was fired at some point, obviously. But I think that the coil went out on it just recently. So there you have it. That's what some of the spark plugs looked like, especially the main ones that had issues. So anyway, we'll talk to you whenever we get the coils in, and be ready to pop them in and fire the motor up and see how she runs. Well, hey everybody, the new coils arrived, so we're ready to get this job done. But I do have an update. The way that I was testing them before was incorrect, and actually I only had one bad coil. So now I've got an extra coil, which is fine, I guess. It just sucks I spent an extra $150, but it is what it is. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to test these coils. So I've got out here, I've got my handy dandy Klein tools. Well, that's actually Jeff's. Klein tools, multimeter, and then I've got the shop manual, and there's a chart in the manual, and you got to follow this chart, and you're going to do some resistance testing. This is the Mercury 2-stroke outboard repair manual, 2001 to 2014. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this chart and the multimeter, and we're going to test these coils. And I'll show you how you do that. And so let me put the camera on the stand and let's get to testing these coils. Okay, to test these coils, you'll have to first set your multimeter to 200K. And the reason for that is some of the test will require your multimeter to be that high. So what we're going to do is we're going to check these we're going to test from these pins. Remember, as you recall at the beginning of the video, there's 5 pins on the primary circuit, and that's where we're going to be performing all our tests. So the first test is going to be pin A. So we're going to put our positive on pin A, and we're going to put our ground to pin B. Let me get my glasses off so I can see better. So now this is going to be our first measurement. Okay, it measures 9.9 in resistance. The range should be between 8 and 12. So anyway, it should be between 9 and 12 there. Then the next test is going to be from pin A to pin C. It's going to be a continuity check. So you'll want to go to your speaker and then you're going to go to D, pin A to D, pin D, and that should be in the range of 29 to 39. So we're right in the range. And then the last one is going to be pin E. Again, that's from pin A to pin E. Should be in the range of 11 to 21. So as you can see, this is a good, so far we're good to go. So now we're going to swap terminals. We're going to put the ground on pin A. And the first test we're going to do is from pin A to pin B, 9.9. And again, that range should be, where's the chart here? Pin A. It should be between 8 and 12. We got our continuity check. We got pin A to pin D. It's showing 26.5. We should be between 20 and 30, so we're good there. And then the last test from pin A to pin E should be between 11 and 21. So this coil is within the tolerances, so this is a good coil. So I'll have one coil left over. And then I believe I had already tested this one, and it was out of tolerance, so I wrote bad on it. But anyway, that's how you test them. All right, guys, now that we got them all tested, I got them all reinstalled, and I dated the two brand new ones. And I also put some of this insulation around the spark plug wires, but I'm going to go ahead and order some new plug wires. Just makes no sense to me to put brand new spark plugs and test all these coils and then throw old plug wires on. So I'm definitely going to do that. But the next step, guys, is to put it on earmuffs and let her run and see how she runs. All right, guys, we're getting ready to fire this motor up, so Jeff's going to turn the water on. All right, water's on. See what we got. Here comes the thunder. It's still got a little bit of a miss, guys, I think, but that could be fuel related. So we'll dig a little deeper, but I think we are fired on all cylinders. I mean, I know all the coils are good. It's all brand new plugs. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
And we may not really be able to tell for sure what we got till we get her out on the water and run her a little bit. You know, like you know, it was run on ethanol fuel, and
I mean, you did.
I haven't run all of that fuel injector clean through it yet, so it may clear up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would clean the fuel injectors. I think that's probably
It's probably the next step, because I know I'm getting fire.
right. You guys have seen me do that on my 250 Pro XS, and if you haven't, you can go watch it. Yeah, you can go watch it.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I know there was a slight miss in the motor there, but I'm not too overly concerned about it, considering all the ethanol fuel that was in this boat and how carboned up the plugs were. I'm sure it's going to take a while for that Lucas fuel injector cleaner to kind of do its thing, and then we'll see where we're at from there. But anyway, I hope you learned something from this video. Definitely check those coil packs. Make sure and test those. Make sure you got good ones. Now those tests will not tell you if you got an intermittent issue, but they will tell you if you've got one that's just bad, period. So that's a good thing. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. Click like, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And click the notification bell for channel updates so that you'll know when new videos come out. And until next time, go do something.